rebound, and we'll be doing it in the panel section. As I call the masters, as I call them, I like to call them masters because they have, a certain level of mastery in this profession. So I'm going to be calling them up, and as I call them up, we'll just give them a round of applause. Is that fine? Is that fine? We already have Mr. Kola. Mr. Kola is with us. Mr. Kola, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. A round of applause. Let's welcome Mr. Kola. He's with us. I like to call him Egbon Kola. I like to call him Egbon Kola. Totally Egbon. Totally. So very quickly, I'll be inviting Mr. Charles, Mr. Ifeanyi Chris Oputa. He is the CEO and founder of Studio 24. Do you know Studio 24? A round of applause for him, please, as he joins us on the panel. Thank you very much. So I'll be having Mr. Korede Olabanji. I know that you guys have been hearing the very popular photo Nimi. So he is Mr. Korede Olabanji photo Nimi. Please, where's the other mic? Where's the other mic? Thank you. Thank you. You can have your seat. Thank you. I don't know if Akim Salam will be joining us online, I guess. I think he's not on seat currently. He'll be joining us online. And Mr. Kelechi is not here currently, but I think he'll be joining us online. But that aside, we can have a wonderful conversation, right? Are we ready for that? Are we ready for that? Okay, great. So I didn't want to read out their biography because I want them to take us through the journey, right? Themselves. So they have their experiences, they have their story to tell. But please, Mr. Ifeanyi, please, you can go for it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ifeanyi Christopher Oputa. Some people call me Chris, some call me Ifeanyi. I'm a chemical engineer. Went to university here in Lagos. In university, there were two. I've always been a business person. That's one of the things from childhood, from 11, 12, I've been looking for something to do, looking for what way to make an extra buck. And I started when I was 11. I used to bake at home and sell cake at church. Sunday school, continued after that. Throughout secondary school and university, I was trading in fashion. I was a fashion trader in school. So fashion trading created a lot of money for me, but that money was always vanished because just like you're having now, the Naira was crashing every single time I had built up decent money. So I realized when I was a youth corporal that the money I had from all my business, I needed to put it into a cash cow. And so first thing I opened was, apart from doing my normal business as chasing things in engineering and other businesses, I opened a salon, a men's salon in Kaduna. So I served in Kaduna. And that salon exploded. It went haywire in those days. And thereafter, I thought of what else to invest in. And there was a video club business, which was great. And I put money, that time video clubbing was huge money. Invested there. And then a shop came available in the same complex. It's opposite a place called Hamdallah Hotel in Kaduna. So the first shop was the salon, shop number 7. The second one was a video club, shop number 9. And then shop number 24 became available. And that shop was, I said, what do we do with this shop? Let's put up a music studio. So the initial plan was to have a music recording studio for artists to come and record their music. And then we looked at a business model from a guy in Lagos who was doing photography. And I said, on campus when we're there, studio the best or whatever. So let's try photography. And we opened studio. 24 because of the shop number 24. And the shop was 20 square meters, which is a very tiny shop. And at the time, business it started small, gradually. And we found out something, that in the entire country at the time, you couldn't get a picture in the same week. Especially in Kaduna. You take a picture on a Monday, you get it the following Monday, if you're lucky. And so I started to research, why is it that you can't get a picture the same day? Why would it take a week to get a picture? And so I went to the labs who were producing pictures, printing pictures for us. At the time, this is 1991, so that's a 31-year-old business, okay? So our studio is 31 years old, our company. Our studio business is 31 years old. So we found that the reason why you couldn't get a picture the same day was because the crowd of people from all over the different states in the north bringing their images to Kaduna, because there was no way a lab would function in Zamfara or burning KBOs. So the entire northern Nigeria was bringing its images to Kaduna. And so I had to do a deal with the lab operators. And the lab operators, in paying them and saying, hey, I'll put you on our payroll as a salary. We'll pay whatever you're being paid by your company, we will pay you as a salary. And they agreed to then do our work as soon as it would come in. And so Studio 24 became the first photographic company in the entire northern Nigeria to give you your pictures on the same day. Wow. And once we did that, it exploded.
Wow.
Okay, it exploded. We couldn't keep up with the traffic. People were coming from Zaria, other towns, because they could get the pictures on the same day. So today it's, if I go through the long story, we won't leave here. I'll fast forward to 1998. Like I said, when it started, it was a side hustle. It was not our main business. It was just a small business but it was exploding and it needed to grow. It was no longer a choice. The business needed to grow. Now, for us, it's a business. It's a business. Firstly, a business. It is not. I can shoot, of course, but I'm not an operator in the business. I'm not a craftsman in the business. I'm a business owner. I'm an investor, but not a craftsman. Now, in 1998, I realized that we had to expand, we had to do things differently. The labs were getting even more choked than before. And they had promoted our own lab guy, and we were stranded. We couldn't, so what did we do? We got a bigger space, and we invested in photography machines, printing machines. And we went to an event every couple of years, which God will give you guys the opportunity to go to, called Photokina. And so I traveled to Germany for Photokina, and I met with Kodak. And I told Kodak in 1998 that, hey, we'd like to have a lab in Nigeria, a pro lab in Nigeria, a Kodak pro lab. And the business, we have a major hurdle in that AGFA owns the photography industry in Nigeria. Phototech and Photo Palace at the time owned the industry. Fuji Banksway was coming in second. Kodak didn't exist in a serious way. Artron was doing some things, but Kodak wasn't existing. And Kodak says, okay, you're Studio 24? Okay, cool. We'll come with you. We'll fly some people from Kenya to Nigeria to support you. And we opened our pro lab in April 1998 in Kaduna, and it exploded. Those of you who are in the know, digital photography, commercial digital photography in Nigeria started in Kaduna. Commercial digital photography, besides retail, commercial, digital photography started in Kaduna, Ahmadu Bello Way in 1998. So now in 1998, we didn't have the means to print the pictures we were capturing. We were capturing these lovely images on digital cameras that we didn't pay for. Kodak gave us the cameras free at Photokina 1998. We couldn't print the pictures. The cost of the printing machines that came out in 1998 for printing digital were €1 million, $1 million per printer. The early AGFA series of printers for digital. So in 1999, Phototech bought the first AGFA machine, Gavert machine for printing digital at over $1 million that time. And they were the only place in the whole of West Africa that could print digital. So again, we were stuck. We had the cameras, digital cameras, we couldn't print. We'd print them abroad. We'd carry images and print internationally for larger sizes and print with AGFA in Lagos. Fast forward to the explosion of digital photography now, which all of you, most of you guys here have entered photography with the digital format. We saw that arrive, and the real challenge was that when the small printers, the Haiti, the Kodak's smaller printers, the Mitsubishi Electrics came into being, our lab was blown away. We lost our lab, and we had to fire or rehire 200 staff working in the lab. We had 200 employees in the lab. In one lab in 1998, there were 200 employees. Do you understand those kind of numbers? It was the biggest lab in this country in terms of numbers of trading. In Kaduna, not Lagos. Lagos people, a lot of us in Lagos here, tend to think that Lagos is the only place where action happens. It's a very big mistake. We didn't open our business in Lagos till 2015. We were in the north. We were in Kaduna, Abuja, then went to Port Harcourt, Enugu. Before Lagos was our last frontier, because we knew we had to be ready to join you guys in Lagos. So Lagos is virgin land, which people in Lagos believe it's seasoned, but it's virgin land. So I'm here to tell you I'll just bring 2 or 3 things to your attention that will help you and help those you know who want to go into the business of photography. Because most people who are in photography in Nigeria are not in the business of photography. They haven't started. Let me give you an idea of the size of the market, a small idea. 1998, maximum 1 million people in Nigeria had cameras. Maximum. Are you following this? A maximum of 1 million people had cameras in this country. Out of that 1 million people, maybe 100,000 or 200,000 were professional photographers. There are 2 kinds of capture that are important. One capture, because as a photographer, your primary thing is you're capturing the image. One kind of capture is the leisure capture. The leisure capture. The leisure capture was what the amateur photographer was buying his camera for capturing leisure images. The obligatory capture, the kind of capture where people feel obliged to capture with a professional, is what the professional photographer is able to capture. Now, in 1998, because very few people had cameras, most of the leisure capture was also being taken by the photography people. So you look nice on a Monday, you go to the studio and take a picture. You feel someone at work tells you you're looking good on a Tuesday, you go to a studio or look for a photographer and take a picture. So the market was booming because every single person who wanted to capture an image needed to come to a photographer. What happened? What happened in 2010 and 11 was that the smartphone started getting smarter. As the smartphone got smarter and the size of the chips and the digital components became smaller, images were captured better on small phones, which the average consumer could use and buy. So the consumer's ability to take leisure images, the leisure images, which were the mainstay of photography in the 90s and 2000s and first 2000s, it got into the hands of the consumer, the general guy, the retail guy. So every single person in this room has a phone, a smartphone. Now, with probably 70 to 80 million smartphones in Nigeria today, what it means is that there are 70 to 80 million cameras in the country today. Because whoever has a smartphone, his main component of that phone is a camera. So the advent of the smartphone has collapsed the business models for Nikon, for Canon, for every camera manufacturer, because the cameras in the phones are not being designed or developed by the camera manufacturers we know. They're being designed and developed by the small companies who can create those components. And those 70 to 80 million cameras, each of them costs a minimum of 10,000 naira. 1,000 naira a camera, right? 1,000 naira a camera on 70 million is 70 billion naira. 10,000 naira a camera on 70 million is 700 billion naira. But you cannot get a 10,000 naira camera. So 150,000 to 100,000 naira means that we're talking of a 2 trillion naira business in front of us. The 2 trillion naira business in front of us is in the hands of every single consumer. So what we've realized as our company, because we're looking at it as a business, and the opportunities that exist for you guys who are photographers is that what can we do as photography people to convert, to get a hold, to have a piece in the 2 trillion naira market? What can we do to have a piece in the 2 trillion naira market? Do you understand? We cannot all sell phones, but we can have a piece in the 2 trillion naira market. Now, in the commercial market, which is the professional market, because now the consumer market has vanished, it's no longer in your hands. But the obligatory market in photography is in your hands. Every single Nigerian is happy to do a birthday photo shoot. Every single Nigerian. Every single Nigerian still is happy to call you in for event photography, for events of any size. In baby naming ceremony, this, that, every Nigerian is happy to call you in. Now, if the birthday market alone is harnessed properly, with 200 million people having birthdays a year, if 1,000 naira is spent, or 2,000 naira is spent per birthday on professional photography, 1,000 times 200 million is 200 billion. 2,000 is 400 billion. So the photography market for professional photography is over 1 trillion naira. It's not being tapped or being searched for. No, I've never seen any photographer advertising or hunting for that market, hunting for it actively. So it's a huge market. I see this, and because our company is a business company. So we hunt for business. And I'd like to encourage the photographers who are in this room, great photographers, to try and understand your market better, to try and understand the industry better. Because the lack of understanding of the industry is very painful to a person like me. And I'd like to dedicate my time, the years I have left in this planet, to see how to grow the industry. Because, you see, very few of you very few people in this entire country have been affected by technology the way we were. Do you understand? We had to shut down a lab with 200 staff. And the lab made 88 million naira sales in 1998. I don't know if you can understand that. At the time it made 88 million naira sales in that year, to buy a house in Maitama was 5 million in Abuja. So now that house is the same kind of house is like 300 million. So 88 million naira in those days was a lot of money. And that business was lost.
not because we wanted to look, just technology. So how many of your own jobs in photography are at risk if you don't understand your industry? If you don't understand how to attack your industry? If you're waiting for the next person or next thing to seize your market, to seize your food. So why I'm here is because as a person who is an industry person, I'd like to share my insight, to share my ideas. I can't do all on this platform. I can't take more time than is necessary, but to warn you also not to get comfortable in what you're doing without understanding the industry and taking part in the industry. If you don't take part in the industry, you're only having a paid hobby. You're only having a paid hobby. And a paid hobby cannot take you into your later years. Warning to you again, this is a very, very important warning to you. In this industry today, anybody who has children in this room knows that your children are more computer savvy than you. Anybody who is here, your children, age 10, age 11, they're more computer savvy than you. As this has happened, and the entire world of imaging today is based on computer algorithms. It's digital. Even though we're reviving some film things, yes, but the entire thing is digital. The new software, the new things coming out, your children master them faster and better than you. If it happens to your children and your photographers, it's happening to children of people who are not photographers. And those children who are getting better in photography every hour, we've had people we've interviewed in 2019 as amateurs. Today, those people are taking shots that are winning awards just after 2 years in photography. Mastery. And these people are staying at home. They're still staying under their parents' roofs. So a person staying under his parents' roof doesn't have the overheads that you have. That person can do work for free. That person can do a wedding for a plate of rice. Do you understand? So when you have such things going on, it puts serious danger for those of you who have built your future and your potential, your careers on this. How do we protect you guys? Other countries of the world have found out, look, hey, when you have any industry where there's a threat to the livelihood of the operators, what do? Urgently. What you do urgently when you have a threat to your... Because you see, me sitting here, I don't fall into that category. I'm a businessman. Do you understand? So this message is more important for you than for me. Me, I'm good. Do you get it? So you guys who are the craftsmen, we need to have a guild of craftsmen. If you don't have a guild of craftsmen, which then dictates who is allowed to practice the craft professionally, you're cooked. The pharmacists know this. The pharmacists know that, hey, if we don't have a guild of craftsmen in pharmacies, the average guy on the street will sell pharmaceutical products as traders and will send us back out of business. So they have a guild and they get government approval to dictate who can sell pharmaceutical products. The architects have an association that dictates who is allowed to practice officially, and they go to the government and say, come, do not approve any building plan unless it's done by a member of our association. Even if he's an architect, as long as he hasn't joined our association, hasn't got our seal, do not approve the building. That protects, what that's doing is it's protecting the architects. Core engineer, I'm a chemical engineer. We have COREN. We have MNSCHE, the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. You cannot go to NMPC and get a DPR license to trade without having an engineer on your team who is registered and paying his dues. Nigerian Medical Association, same thing. Every trade, every association, everywhere has it. In the international countries, they have them. Master Photographers Association of UK, British Institute of Professional Photography, RPS, SWPP. All of these associations are to protect the masters, the people who put all their efforts in these trades and could be upturned and taken out of business by amateurs, new people in the trade. So I encourage you, and I offer ourselves, our company is ready to support you guys, to set up a national guild, a national association, a trade association, which we take to the government. I'm happy to be part of it. We take it to the government, get it registered. So everyone who comes into photography, if you go to a wedding and shoot, and you're found at a wedding and you're not a member, you'll be thrown out. Once that happens, you won't have your own future in this industry, in this space, is protected. Do you understand? So it's in our collective interest, but more in the interest of the craftsman. More in the interest of the craftsman to have to sit up, get together, form this guild, present it to government, say, look, why will government allow it to happen? Why do you think? I'll tell you something very quickly. I'm even taking more time than I. Yeah. Can I just finish?
All right.
Can I?
All right.
All right. Why government would take it more seriously? Because I've had this conversation with government. You see, right now, anybody that picks up a camera is a photographer. Those people who take pictures that haven't got a fixed address and who you allow into your home because you saw a nice picture online, what security checks? How are you sure about your safety in the hands of this person? So if we have people who are in touch with your children, who are shooting pictures of your baby, who are taking pictures of your wife, your children, and you have these guys who you do not know from anywhere, who just come from the blues. Once they carry a camera, you're trusting them with your family. That's a huge security risk. Many people have been assassinated with the support of photographers. I'm sure you know that already. So for security reasons alone, the government is ready, Ministry of Internal Affairs is ready, Ministry of Nigerian Security Advisor is ready. They're all ready. They're all ready to support this. So I'm here to encourage you. I know that there are people amongst you who this resonates with very well. Let's get together, start this movement. Not any lame duck, come and wear Ashwebi thing. No, that's not the kind of, I'm not talking that kind of association. It's not Ashwebi association. It's serious business, all right? It's not a, when the burial is happening, everybody goes together and wears uniform. No. It's a professional trade organization, professional, and then we're taken seriously. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.